Hello.
Yes, sir, you
Yes,
are.
sir.
Okay. I firmly believe that our life will be better served if we are going to be guided by people who have knowledge, who have wisdom. And it is with those people that we have spent the greater part of our life, in the early life. The majority of our waking time we have spent with them, namely our teachers. On this great occasion of the Teachers' Day, I am delighted to be with you, with all the students, particularly mathematics students of mine. They belong to my year. So I'm very happy to be with you all. And before I proceed, I would like to submit my humble pronouns to all the teachers around the world, including those at the August Institution of Indian Institute of Science Education Research, Bhopal. I'm honored to be invited to share my thoughts with the Maths Club. And first of all, I would like to thank you for the same. Let me share my presentation. Are you able to see my presentation?
No, sir, it's not visible.
See it here. Just a second. Is it now visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Is it a single screen or with the next slide also?
At the next slide.
Just a second. I need to make some tweaks. Single screen now?
Yes, sir, it's fine.
Fine. Now, are you able to see single screen or double screen here?
Single screen.
Single screen. Fine. So you're not able to see the next slide that's being displayed, right?
Sir.
Okay. Fine. It's very slow now. Yeah. At the outset, I would like to submit my pronouns to my guru, mentor, and guide, Professor Muthiveeramani, who was a person who has mentored me, and incidentally, he was my brother also. He had a passion for mathematics, and he was the one who introduced me, inducted me into the field of mathematics. So I would like to submit my pronouns to my brother, Professor Muthiveeramani. And another point of proud moment in my life is presenting before my alma mater, the Professor Vittal, who is sitting in between next to the Swamiji at the Ramakrishna Mission School, where I was invited to be to address the students from the campus to the corporate. So we had a session, and he was there kind enough to bless me on that occasion. And these are some of my proud moments, I would say. So Maths Club has expressed concern that people's perception are of no future for mathematics students and insufficient knowledge of career opportunities. And I've been requested to provide some insights into career opportunities to math students and also to provide career talk. So here I would like to share my experiences on that. Basically, I'm a mathematics student, so and I'll be happy to do that. And since I'm going to compare the path that I have traveled as a mathematics student from mathematics to the banking to the data and to the cyber world. So I may be taking out a lot of leaves out of my life, and at times it could sound blowing my trumpet. I just request pardon for that, and so that bear with me, so that we could take only those that are required. I am basically, as I told you, a mathematics student having a this one bachelor's degree, and it was my brother who drove me into that, who inducted me into the algebra, geometry, analytical geometry, everything there. Since he was a very passionate man who went to the extent of slugging an offer from the Bank of India as a probationary officer way back in the 1970s to take up a teaching job. You can see how passionate he was, and he was training me on that. I also took to the mathematics this one. So and when I was also into that, only thing is his passion and mine were slightly getting different. I could enjoy mathematics, but I was seeing mathematics as a career to the next step. At that point of time only, I got sight of uh, competitive
Hello, sir.
examinations.
Sorry to interrupt,
Yes,
but
please.
your voice is bit low.
Okay. Is it okay now? Is it okay now? Hello.
Uh, yes, sir. It's okay.
Okay. So I did my BS bachelor's at the Vaishnav College, Chennai. Then I was pursuing my post graduation at the Vivekanand College when I was drawn into the competitive examination. So I just took over, and from there I went for the competitive examination. I'm talking about the 75, okay, wherein the competitive examinations were of a different caliber compared to what we have now, because what they call as civil services. I think I don't need to introduce civil services to you because you people should be already adapted to it. So when I took the competitive examination, I found that there are two subjects. We have to take three optionals, and two of which I could choose mathematics. One is a pure mathematics, the other is applied mathematics. And in those days, 2 days, two subjects are enough to go to compete for the Indian police service, and the three subjects, then we may have to go for the other. We can opt for other services also, like IAS, IFS, and other central services also. I found this to be very, very useful to me because almost everything that we have studied in during this period, I could get it onto that. So that is where I enjoyed the power of mathematics there. But the third subject was daunting me, and so I couldn't clear my main examinations. And then, but slowly it came out that I could do the finals. So immediately, that the three attempts are over. In no time, the three attempts are over, and so. But my people thought that I was so enthralled in this civil services, and that I will get bogged down. But in the next couple of months, I could identify the next path and then move over from there. Remember, all these with just a simple mathematics background. But it was one of my close friends who identified the systematic approach, the logic that I've been doing. So he said, because he was already into some computers at that time, young man. In fact, he was younger than me. At that time, he said, "Sir, you will fit more into the computer than now." But remember, in the 82s, the computers, I have not even seen the computer at that point of time. So at that point of time, it was Greek and Latin money for me. But having had that passion to do something, I just jumped into that. So I have to look forward to everything there. But I set my goal. Initially, I joined an institute there with a very astronomical sum, which I couldn't afford it, even though I was working in a bank just for the survival. But at the same time, the quality of education imparted was so high that I could enjoy what I was doing there. So I set my goal as a computer professional. Then I started going ahead with it. Slowly, I realized that I have to keep myself updating. See, that is one of the key points that I would like to emphasize for the people here. One is the computer is an industry wherein you cannot sit back and relax because it keeps growing and you have to keep in touch with that also. You have to keep pace with that also. At that point of time, in banks, the positions were very lucrative and all my friends were scaling up the ladder, and I decided to stick on to the position where it was because the relocation was going to cost me dear, because it will scatter my vision and focus. So I just kept my goal, and even though my people have started moving like officer, manager, etc., I kept on to the position there. But because of the focus, I was able to focus better on the subject. Then I started. Then one of my friends again identified me for teaching computers. That gave me a lot of confidence. From 1986 to 2001, I was teaching computers, computer basics, COBOL, and all other related things there. And they gave me an opportunity to go in depth into the subject. And I kept on improving by adding on to my repertoire. Each and every time when initially it was basic COBOL, Fortran, DBase, Fox Pro, etc. Then subsequently when the other GUI came, so I just started getting onto the Windows, Oracle, Power Builder, DB2, etc. onto that. All these things while I was serving the bank. So I just kept on improving, and when the right opportunity came, I just jumped out of the bank after serving for 25 years. By being in 25 years in the bank, I could almost go through at least about 4 or 5 cycles of every department, and that gave me a good understanding of the retail banking concepts. People are wondering what are you going to do with banking into the computer, whereas at that point of time I didn't know that computers, people were there with technology, but there were no people with the domain. That is what is going to help me there. So I left at the right time. But see, the life is so fickle, and we have to expect the unexpected there. When I was offered a job right from the bank to go to the Netherlands to execute a banking project, the recession set in. Suddenly, all the opportunities vanished, and when I came out of the bank, I was unemployed. So it is a unexpected turn from a person who is going to travel in the next month to a person who is going to be unemployed. But I then thought that okay, these are all going to be temporary setbacks. So I utilized that time to get into software testing quality. So that gave me the right turns. I didn't know that software testing has got so much of opportunities there, but the subject interested me, and it was also very enthralling to find out how the quality of the product, etc. So I just recovered fast, and I realized that every learning that we make at every point of time is going to be useful for us. Okay, so what am I doing here? Just I'm a maths major. I just went into teaching for passion. Even while I was doing my second year BSc, I was called by my family doctor and said my son is not very good in mathematics. Can we just have some sessions with him? Then I went home to their house and then just taught him analytical geometry. I remember very well now, 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions. Okay. Fortunately, that person is now a leading oncologist in Chennai, Apollo Hospitals. Okay. So I have some exposures in retail banking, computer concepts, software engineering, banking and technology. I came later to know that banking, technology, and mathematics or statistics is a killer combination there. This is what my boss, who was a senior vice president, said. I can get any number of technology people, but to get a domain person with even 10% technology, that is a killer combination. That's what they got. So this is how I got introduced into that. Am I clear? Am I audible? The screen is audible? The screen is visible there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Everything is fine.
Okay. So I was also get into the lectures, invited lectures such as software testing and techno banking, they called it, the new terminology they defined. And more of the passion I got into this cyber security awareness. So here I am with you. This is my brief introduction. I hope you can see the screen. So I have been with this one, Cyber Intelligence Academy. It has been run by a cyber law advocate. He's a practicing cyber law advocate. And so we are doing some consultancy day. And in the academic, the College of Karur, we had a 1 year session wherein we picked and chose students, trained them, and made them employable. That is a very interesting thing we had. Then all these things got involved into that, and the crowning moment for me was when I was acknowledged by my president and CEO of the company when I left there, saying that we don't want to lose you, but you have chosen the path. Okay. So just a brief into my professional career. Exclusively, a team was formed for me. It is called a TREAT team, testing and review activities team. And at the same time, I was invited to be on the board Exaware. President identified our team, the team's presentations, and what is the review we are doing. And the crowning glory was I was asked to represent Exaware in its bid for the CMMI Level 5, wherein we have to present this one functional presentation has to be done. I was also involved in the integration task force when Exaware took over another company in Mexico. We have to travel there to Mexico to have a handshake with the people and then exchange ideas. And because of my banking knowledge, I was asked to lead a banking team of purely raw people, that is, people who are just straight from the college with a little or no experience. And my task was to train them in banking, basics of banking, and then put them onto the testing arena. And it went on like anything there. So then I was inducted to the Hall of Fame, and the CATS, nothing but quality assuring testing services, wherein I was heading the banking division when I at last chose to quit the IT industry. We published a white paper on banking testing. That is, we were telling the customers, the prospective customers, as to how the testing can be accelerated so that they can get some benefits out of this. This is a huge hit in that Gartner, the world famous analyst, mentioned this in their report, annual report, and it received some rave reviews there. I would like to consider these as some of the milestones in my career there, and I was also honored by the president of the company for having been representing the CMMI and also presenting these things there. And senior management also promptly acknowledged this. Why I am saying all these things is that an ordinary graduate can go up to any level. It doesn't require an engineering degree or any specialization onto that. All it requires is a passion and a focused drive. That's it. That's what I wanted to underline that. And we also ran some banking training initiatives because most of the people who came into the organization were not have never even heard of what is banking. So we have to educate them on banking, then train them, then put them on the projects. So these were some of the uh, items that we have taken, and it have come out very successfully onto that. Okay, uh, that is my career path. See, whenever we buy a product, we go and check whether it is good. That's something that requires that whether I deserve it. So in that case, now I have chosen to talk to you for about 45 minutes or something. So I want to you to know that I have something that I have to share with you. That is why I was presenting my credentials to you. Is there any? If there is any question, please you can please send it across to the administrator there, who will pass it on to me. So as for the career options for maths major, that is our main topic of discussion. Okay, I could find many options there. Being a math graduate, I myself could locate three or four. But then, when I was invited for this talk, I just wanted some time because I wanted to dwell deeper into that to find out what are the areas available. And I also came across some couple of things there. I will share with you all these things. The first one, as I told you, is the civil services. See, the choices I am giving is or in any order. It is not that the first choice is civil services, second choice is something else. It is in no particular order. It is up to the people to do that. See, the choice of civil services in the sense that a simple graduate, you need not be a postgraduate, you need not be a PhD or anything. He can straight away become a civil servant, an IAS officer or IPS officer, whatever it is, just with the help of mathematics. This is my not only conviction but proven experience also. Number one, I was able to crack it, and number two, when I trained another person who is a physics major, who was very good in physics, but he was looking at one more subject, and when I trained, and he was able to get into the civil services, which unfortunately I could do. Fortunately, he was able to do it. I'm very happy about it. He got into IA days. there are a lot of reservations. Some people they have some reservations about IAS and IPS due to some interferences or stability, etc. In that case, you have always options to choose for the IA and AS audit and account service, or railway account service, or railway revenue service. Statistical service is one of the best we could think of. One of Mr. Muthurama Krishnan, who retired as a chief commissioner of income tax. He is one of my brother's best friend. They did a combined study on statistics, and he went on to become a commissioner of income tax. Everywhere I could find that mathematics has got a very big edge over other optionals in the sense that, say, if you take European history or for that matter ancient history or Indian history, when you respond to a question, it is up to the evaluator to give you a 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 or whatever it is. In the case of mathematics, there could be only one. Either it could be 10 out of 10 or 0 out of 10. There cannot be anything else because it's going to be a solid, it's going to be a solid answer, which is going to be yes or no. It's a binary situation. So even while coming out of it, you can evaluate yourself and find out. I found this to be a big edge. After I wrote my examination, I could come and predict how much of grade I could score there. And also, this carries a double advantage in that you get some lucrative positions, which is very much required for your position among the society. At the same time, you can also sustain your interest, subject interest onto that. It has got a very good career path. I don't need to elaborate on that. And in the unfortunate event of one not getting through the civil services, one thing I found out is that the preparations for the civil services are as good for any other competition. You can go for that. When I went, I just had a look at that, at the syllabus of the civil services, linear algebra, analytical geometry, differential equations. Even now, I'm itching to go for that. Even though my age will not serve that, I'm itching to go for that because we have dealt in depth, even at the graduations level, all these things there. And the moment we started preparing for the civil services, that what we did was we obtained the previous express papers, and you won't believe it, almost 75% we were able to crack without much preparation. I have a feeling that people with mathematics or statistics have a distinct edge over others in terms of civil services. This is my opinion. Throughout this presentation, what I'm sharing with you is that these are all my opinion. People could differ on that, or people have better choices. It's entirely up to them after that. The next area I would suggest is software testing. I'm not sure how many of you are aware or how many of you are conversant with this area, software testing. Unfortunately, if you're in a face-to-face interaction, there are a lot of questions we can interact on that, but unfortunately we are not able to do now. But the thing is, this is a very interesting area I found. It could give you a very good career. I just dive deep into that and let us see what we do have in there. Why should we test the software? To eliminate defects before deployment. Supposing you buy a product, if it's going to be defective, naturally the customer is going to be upset. Naturally, the customer is going to shout, yell at the seller, and the seller's reputation is at stake. Everything is coming there. Okay, and there is no reliability, there is no confidence, customer confidence. So, when I joined the software testing arena sometime in 2003, it was at a very nascent stage. Exever Technologies, where I was working, we had a software testing team numbering number 12. Only 12 people were there in this testing services. It was called Hexaver Independent Testing Service. We call it HITS. When I left the organization sometime in 2010, it was the number of people crossed over 2,000, the testing arena alone. You can see the type of opportunities we have included in there. The question is, if I take testing as a career, will there be enough opportunities on them? Why not? Testing is going to last as long any development you're going to do the testing. Absolutely. And in addition to that, there are going to be some periodical special openings like we had in Y2K. Y2K, year 2000 is the one which opened the digital eyes of the world, I would say. People traveled from India and every country to US where they have hard coded it, they have coded in a different format, MMDD, YY format. wherein we have to change everything there, like that. Similarly, the tax, every year when the tax goes through, the rate changes is going to happen. So there are going to be some permanent avenues as well as some special openings. In my opinion, these are going to be perennial. And the customizations and updates. Supposing you take a banking application, supposing say you have a State Bank of India website, it is not the same as the website you might have seen about a month back or about a year back. Or after 6 months, if you go there, it's going to be entirely different because it has to be completely updated with the latest products and offerings that is being given there. And in addition, internet banking, supposing the rate of interest changes, supposing the condition changes, everything has to be updated. When once you update, it is likely that some other part will also get affected. That is where the testing plays a vital role there. And also, not only in finance, take the case of airlines. Airlines nowadays, right from your booking of tickets to the in flight in this one flight, yeah, planes in flight as well as landing, ticketing, everywhere computers are involved. Airlines is one of the biggest industry that is the industry that is offering the maximum number of people in the software industry. We have separate wing called the travel and transportation, which takes care of everything. Similarly, insurance, medical, everywhere. And most importantly, the clients have now started demanding that demanded asking whether it has gone through testing. Previously, about 20 years back, they used to say, okay, have you tested? Fine. But now they want a confirmation from the testing team saying that we have tested it and it has passed every defect. So the final go has to be from the testing team, not from the development team. This makes a very big difference in the sense that there is a great dependency on the testing team. So, so we were in the testing team, and our client said that unless our team, which is called a treat team or the testing team, unless they clear, we will not take the build. We will not take the deployment. See the feedback from the clients. Impressed with, they used to call Kapali's team or something. Felt that Kapali would do a better job. Like to have more time given to Kapali. Is willing to give Kapali an authority to cancel the bill if he's not happy. They say that if you are not happy, I don't mind a delay, but I want a complete product. So these are from the customer's mouth. You can see that it was in 2005. Now we have grown a lot of ways. So now the accent is more on software testing, the quality. That is where, and people are recruiting. In fact, I was also in the recruitment area. I would have interviewed close to, during the entire 10 years tenure, I would have interviewed close to 1,000 people there. The one thing that I found was people were qualified otherwise, but they were not qualified for the job we are taking. So that is where the catch is. So in case you are graduating from mathematics based, whether bachelor's or post graduation, etc., how to tune yourself to the expectations of the industry, that's going to be a very big question here. So why to test? Supposing you don't test, what's happening? There are enough examples in the internet. You can see that there are enough examples in the internet. What happens if you are going to give a defective product in banking, medical, insurance, mechanical? About 2 days back, we saw one of the major automobile industry recalling the cars delivered during a particular period because their software was not updated and it was not properly tested. See, the lack of testing is hurting them. Close to 1 lakh cars are being recalled. They are going to be updated free of cost. Imagine the cost it's going to be on the burden, financial burden it's going to have the company. So that is the impact of not testing properly. Similarly, in the medical arena, if you are going to have a different blood grouping, you can see the second example says that instead of saying you are discharged, they have said you have died. Okay, that's going to have only a mental trauma for the patient. But the copy of which has been sent to insurance and the insurance are prompt to settle the claim. See the impact on that. So this is where testing plays a very crucial role. And there is a fantastic career growth there. The people whom I recruited sometime in 2005, they are now across the globe. I'm not joking. across the globe in various positions, right from the test manager to senior directors. Because here, your position or emoluments are not going to be any hindrance. If you are going to deliver the quality that is expected, the your progression is going to be automatic. You can see here, you can go from trainer, right from the basic training to the test man engineer, test analyst, QA, project manager, program manager. You can keep on going that like that. And emoluments, this is again become outdated because it keeps changing every time. I will tell you, the moment you start your career as a testing professional, you will be at the rock bottom. Maybe they will call you as a test engineer or something. 2 years into that, I have seen people demanding their position and emoluments. I'm not joking. You can get into any software industry, they'll be able to do that. So the position and compensation structure are not going to be limiting you in any way. What are the other benefits, and why should it be a key differentiator from other area? Let us see that. This is only area wherein you can barge into the IT sector without an engineering degree. Even now of late I heard that even for software testing they have started demanding engineering, but it has not yet come into force. And career growth is very fast, very fast. I can tell you, you can. And today you will be working on a banking project. After 6 months, you will be working on an insurance, and then airlines. See the number of domains you are covering there. Banking, the airlines. That's called they call TTFL, travel transportation. And this one, and also the insurance. This is a BFSI sector. Then you have the manufacturing sector. You have enormous. At the end of it, say at the end of 6 years, people start choosing. They will choose the technology. I will say I will be only with the mainframes, and this my specialization will be banking, or my specialization will be mainframes. You can have a choice within a period of 5 years or 6 years. I don't think any number of amount of education is going to give you that. Only the hands-on experience. If you get your hands dirty, you're going to get that. And normally, people are sent on site, client location like US, UK, or Australia, only after they are confirmed, say after 2 years or 3 years. I had seen in my own team people we have recruited as a fresher, having trained them within 1 year, just on completion of 1 year. I have myself sent my own team members to US and Australia because the client said this guy is testing very well. I want him to be at the client side. I want him to be do the test the final build so that I have a defect-free product. So the on-site products opportunities are much greater than the development team. See, I'm not sure. You must be aware of that. There are two teams called one is a development team, the other is a testing team. The development team develops the product, and the testing team is going to test the product before it is being exposed to the clients. There are so many people who moved over from development to testing for these two bullet points. One is choice of technology and specialization, and greater on-site opportunities. And the career growth is phenomenal. Is phenomenal. And people say how long it's going to last. It will last forever because we ourselves say that 100% testing is a myth. There is no possibility of rolling out a product that's going to be defect free. The defects are going to be always there. So testing team is always required. So to err is human, and as long as the humans are going to test, just humorously, I think there are going to be opportunities for testing. That's what we say. Why is there a concept called testing at all? That is because we feel that a development cannot be perfect. That is why a testing team is there. Again, can the testing be perfect? No. That is why they have developed different forms of testing called integration testing, acceptances, etc. Acceptance testing, wherein the user will accept and say that there are some certain things called regression testing. So, at no point of time, man is not a perfect animal. Okay, so we are prone to making mistakes. So, at every point of time, a tester's life is definitely required. Tester's intervention is definitely required. Is it clear?
Sir,
Okay. So that is as far as the testing as a career is concerned. My third choice is going to be data science. With the advent of computers, we are loaded with tons of data. Every day in, day out, we are churning out data. You go anywhere, they just ask you to fill up your mobile number or your mail ID, etc. Everywhere your data is being collected. In fact, that has become a great risk nowadays. Data collection has become a great risk in that people do not know where it is going. But constructively, the modern technology which is uh, churning out data, data has to be converted in information. And it doesn't mean it is not sufficient if I just have data. It's, if a raw data is not going to help me in any way. Like take for example the pandemic that we are into now. It, the data analysis is so much that even other countries are looking at India for the reports. I just read a report this morning itself saying that they are quoting Indian data analysis there. So data has to be converted in information, and that is where data science is providing a lot of means and support. So we are sitting on a mountain of data, but to derive the business benefits, we need data science. For that, we want data scientists. I was just talking to one of the senior data scientists few days back when I was preparing for this, and he gave me a lot of inputs on that. Mathematics and statistics are much sought after in this data science field. One of the major openings could be in and as you can be a data analyst, data scientist, and actuaries. These are three areas I'm telling you in the next 10 years it's going to burst like anything. Like how the software testing was when it was in 2000 when I entered and how where it is now. Similarly, the data science is going to occupy a predominant position in our data analysis. The number one opportunity could be in data analysis. So I'll categorize this. What is that we are going to do? Analyze data and present with visualization. This is important. The second part is important. Present with visualization skills. This is where we have our skills there. And what is that is required? Your ability to summarize data and logical thinking. You can see the other thing there, skills required, graphs, histograms, some of which you are already doing in your graduations. Basic things like spreadsheet, Microsoft Power BI, etc. And the career path is junior, senior, data analyst, data visualization specialist, etc. See the starting salary there and where it could go. There is enormous potential. People everywhere, not only in information technology. Now the banks are looking for data analysts because they want to analyze their data because of the projections of advances and deposits, etc. So this is one of the areas where I think people have a lot of opportunities there. The next one is a data scientist. It is a different from data analysis in that it is predicting the outputs, patterns, and also forecasting. The earlier one was analyzing on your existing data. Here, based on the data which has been converted into information, we are going to predict on that. Here, your basic subjects are linear algebra, calculus, statistical skills, regression. Everything is going to come in very handy there. We have the languages, there are language, Python, etc. onto that. You can see the career path. Plenty of opportunities. My friend says that if there is going to be a data scientist, I will grab immediately. And incidentally, my daughter, who is also in the MS in data science, she says that there's got so much of potential that what has happened about 30 years back when the information technology burst in the scene, similar thing is happening now with the data. With the data, we do not know what is going to happen there. We will very soon say this is the positive effect of data. I will come back to the negative effect of data in your next opportunity. The next one we have is actuaries. This field of data I've been hearing for over 50 years now. Even while I was in graduation, this was talked about. This is occupying a predominant position in insurance product, actuarial science, they used to call it, wherein statistical analysis is extensively used. And also currently they have started using financial risk management here. They used to say it's a very tough examination to clear, but with proper planning, even during your graduation, you can clear a couple of subjects, and you can clear the other subjects over a period of time, wherein you can start with a junior actuarial assistant, etc. And starting with the 40K, you can go anywhere. Opportunities are plenty. Actuarial people are very, very rare, very, very rare nowadays. So, my third choice is going to be around the data, wherein you have a data analyst, data scientist, and actuaries, lots of opportunity. But mathematics is such a vast language, a very powerful tool in the hands of the right people. It should be okay. You can see here when you have computer science, maths and statistics, domain and business knowledge. You see, I told you using these three combination. You can see the intersection of these two in the Venn diagram, wherein you have all the opportunities there. This slide is being projected across all the major IT organizations to impress upon their staff to find out what are the opportunities available to them. Please make a note of it. We have so far seen what are the data, what are the availability positions there using data. Now, at the same time, we have the misuse of data also. That is in terms of cybersecurity. Of late, you are acquiring data, which is you are acquiring a property as a first goal. But the next goal will be to protect it or to keep it secure. That is where we are facing a lot of challenges now. So, cybersecurity, what is it causing? Let us see in detail. What is the cause? Increasing usage of digital transactions. I did not underline it anymore. This pandemic has created a position wherein we are not stepping out of our house, but still we get everything delivered at your place. At the doorstep, they are getting delivered. We are not dispensing with a single paisa, single rupee, but still commerce transactions are taking place. And we are still paying our insurance policies, we are paying everything there, but still everything, nothing, no physical contact is happening. This underlines the importance of e-commerce. At the same time, some cause for concerns. The need is, why should we bother about cybersecurity? Increasing number of frauds and victims. We are astonished about the number of frauds that is being committed. More astonished by the ignorance of people. More astonished by the ignorance of people there. How easily they become gullible. They lose their finance. See, 59% of Indians fell victims. 27 million Indians fell victim to identity theft. Where is the identity theft? You are giving your Aadhaar card everywhere. You are producing your PAN card everywhere. They just swipe it, and just by the barcode it is there. Now people have found out means, ways and means to extract all your data out of it. That is identity theft. And the most disturbing position is half of our population do not know how to protect ourselves from cyber attacks. There's a huge knowledge gap between the cyber citizens and the cyber criminals. It is really we are sitting on a volcano every day. See, I have been associated with the Cyber Society of India for the past over 10 years. I have been holding some positions, recently being the past president of Cyber Society of India. Day in and day out, we used to get calls of how they have been cheated, how they have been duped. It's pathetic. Some people say, I kept all my money for my daughter's marriage, it has been swiped clean. I kept my pension amount there, it has been wiped clean. I don't know what happened. Somebody called me and said, your card is expiring. They wanted me to just give the OTP. I gave the OTP. Next minute, everything is gone. So, it is the ignorance that is causing a lot of hardship there. See here, these are the touch points. I hope you are able to see the screen, right? It's a very, very important slide wherein every normal person, we are getting into the cyber area. We are touching the cyber, I can say live wire through internet or e-commerce, mobile, ATM, social network, net banking. Okay. And every one of us is in need of any of these things. I have listed student, employee, homemaker, senior citizen, even children. So we are touching this wheel at some point or other. Everywhere we are touching this wheel, and without knowing what it is. Unfortunately, what we are doing now is we thought that it is similar to just buying a TV and switch on the remote and keep changing the channels. That is what we are doing with internet. Unfortunately, it is not like that. It's not that simple. Every touch you make, every click you make is going to cost you unless you know what you are doing. I'll tell you, it is very pathetic. It is for you people, the younger ones, to teach everyone in your home, be it the elders or the children, how to be careful with the net banking, or the children how to be careful with the social network, or with the other people like mobile phones, etc. It is a very, very dangerous area we are looking into. And what are some common cyber crimes? You must have heard all these things: hacking, phishing, phoning, etc. And the list is growing. If you go and search in internet, you will be astonished by the number of cyber crime that is happening there. And mind you, we have prevention methodology for each and every crime. Each and every cyber crime, we have prevention methodology. It's not that we are not learning it. We are blissfully unaware of that, and we tend to ignore this. That is where it is landing up in trouble. And most importantly, should you read cyber about cybersecurity, or should you be aware of the cybersecurity? See, if I'm going to read some cybersecurity courses, it's going to take me a long time. Of course, well and good, no problem at all. You get an in-depth knowledge. But as a user, you don't need to do anything there. What is required is an awareness. Awareness is going to be created by anybody in no time. Just I can talk to you in half an hour. In 30 minutes, I can tell you what are all the cyber crimes that are now open now and how to get yourself protected from it. That's enough. So education has got nothing to do with it. In fact, most of the people who are becoming cyber crime victims are people who are very, very educated, highly educated. Just a few days back, I saw this news report: an IAS officer falling victim to an online fraud. You mean to say an IAS officer is not educated? He is highly educated, a very knowledgeable person. It is just a slip. It's just a slip he has committed, and his bank account has been wiped off. He is a very, very intelligent person. He is managing a district or a state. Okay, but just a slip could cost you anything. So it is not that we are educated, but it's going to be awareness. Awareness is the key here. And in this area, you can do a lot of things there. So in cybersecurity, you can have a lot of things here: security engineer, consultant, code auditor. You have a CISA examination is there. Okay, security information security awareness. Very, very soft after. Very, very soft after. Now, every bank is being going to have a information security person, and every software development organizations is already having it. It's information security. So there's a lot of opportunities here. You can become an ethical hacker. A hacker is one who is intruding into your cyberspace, but if you become an ethical hacker, you have a license to hack. That is for positive. You can hack into a website and inform them. Supposing I have a Bank of India, I will hack into the website and tell them that these are the luxury you have. Of course, you have to inform them before that I'm going to do a professional job. That is it. And the data protection officer, cybercrime investigator, computer forensics is again a very, very huge area. It is you can lead up to yourself to information security officer. Um, Shraddha and Smriti, I think I'm overshooting my time. Can I go ahead with that? I have few more points.
So we are running out of time, so I think we should
Okay,
wrap up now.
okay, fine. The next choice is banking. You have enormous situation there. You have enormous position there. You can do anything on the banking there. All that is required is a diploma in just course in banking and finance. You can go from an officer to the president. Okay. So, to my perceptions, some of the major things are these: civil services, software testing, data science, cyber security, banking, accounting, chartered accountant. I have people from my batch who have become successful chartered accountants, and ACS people who went on to become chief financial officers. And there are many people. And one of my friends who was a PhD in mathematics, who did his PhD from Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, he went on to become a global leader who known the top three companies, IT sectors. So there is no limitations for that. Unfortunately or fortunately, academics has been relegated to the background. Academics, I don't need to say what are the opportunities there. There is so much in academia. So as a mathematician, I just picked up this picture from LinkedIn. You can ride any number of horses. Need not be dogs. You can ride any number of horses. We have so many choices on there, but to do that, we need to have a lot of. You need to make the right choice, have the focus, and then get on with it. I would, even though I have some more thing here as to how to make you employable, because we are running short of time, maybe we'll have a separate session onto that, and then we can have onto that.
Thank,
These are all my perceptions, my ideas. I'm not teaching. I'm just sharing my thoughts onto this here. I hope it is somewhat it is useful to you, and it, at least it has made you think. That is what my idea is. If you have any questions, kindly shoot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an enlightening presentation, which will benefit all of us while looking for job prospects. Now we are opening the forum for the students to interact and solve their queries directly. You
Sure.
can type Q in the chat box in case you have questions. So you can proceed.
I'll stop sharing. Hello.
Yes, so you can stop the presentation.
I just have my final slide there. Thank you very much for the Maths Club of the Institute of Science and Education Research.
So,
It has been
Rahul, you
very
can
helpful.
unmute yourself and ask the question. So we have questions.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, sir. I'm Rahul here.
Yeah,
Thank you
Rahul.
for the wonderful talk. It was very inspiring. So, I'm a third year maths major student.
Okay.
So, I wanted to ask that now, like the degree which you are pursuing, that is very theoretical and involves a lot of proving theorems and stuff. But in industry, I felt, means from the talk, I felt it is quite different from that. So, how can we maximize our learning during the degree to apply it in the industry? Like, what is like proving all these theorems and stuff? How is it going to help me to do a job or make a career?
Good, Rahul. I think it is very thought provoking. See here, I was also searching for all these questions there when I was doing my thing. See here, this the number of the theorems you are making, your problems you are solving, etc. It is setting your mind into a logical path, which is serving you in a real way when you get into these logical positions, like be it testing or data analysis. You may not be able to apply directly what you are doing a Newton-Raphson theorem or integration by parts or partial differential equation. That you can do it when you get into the academia, but when you want to get into the industry, where you have is you have this. See, for example, I was doing some in Oracle and I was using Toad. I was able to use it nearly 15 years later when I was into one of the testing. So, as I told you, none of the education that we are, none of the learning that we are having is going to be waste. But what I can suggest you is that even while you are doing a graduation or post graduation, even in your college, you can do some parallelly. You can do some process. I just gave some MOOC and other this one websites there. You can check in and make yourself ready for that. Wherein even before that, that is it is like you are creating a handicap for other students. Like you can be one or two stages up the race when you have all these things. So that is why I was about to cover it in my next the second later part. See, when we choose people for the organization, we don't look directly at only what your qualifications are. We also look at how we best we can use that resource or his employability quotient. Or in terms of business, it could be what they call it as the price quotient. Every resource has got a price in the industry. Supposing I make use of your services, when I expose you to your client, they pay the organization on an hourly basis, say like $10 per hour or $20 or $50 per day. That is the direct profit to the organization. So, if I take you as a raw student and train you, I will be losing valuable time. Instead, if you are already trained in some areas, like I have pointed out in the presentation, your employability quotient increases. That means right from day one of you stepping into the organization, you are employable. That means you are churning out profit to the organization. So you have to look for the areas in which you can acquire additional skills. That is the most important thing that one can do. We always complain about lack of time, but during your education, during your college education, you have the most available time to you. I will underline that. You will recall it when you go for the office at every point of time, because you can do anything you want. You can stretch yourself. And once you go into the employment, additional education is going to be very, very tough on that. Am I answering your question, Rahul?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank
Because
you very much.
on the way you have to pick up a lot of skills. Like I said, I'll tell you, the MS Office that you are going to learn now is going to be the biggest asset when if you want to step into IT industry. Okay, you will know how it is. Thanks.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, Aditya has a question for you.
Yes, Aditya.
Okay, I'll speak the question. I'll speak it.
Yeah.
Uh, can you elaborate banking in the context of mathematics?
Banking in the context of mathematics is going to be, I would say that mathematics is not directly getting into this one, banking. But if you could analyze it deeper, see there are two things. One is the traditional banking, and now we will become the automated banking. For the automated banking, what we do now, see, this is what exactly we did for the retail banking. I told you we created a test suite. What we do is that supposing for an activity, say like opening an account, we have about 10 steps. You get the name of the account holder, you get the Aadhaar details, etc. About 10 steps are there. And you go to the next activity. Supposing you want to make a transaction, there are also some about another 10 steps are there. Out of these 10 steps, there will be about 4 or 5 which are common. So you identify them and then keep it separate. So, like that, in banking, you have millions of activities. For each of these activities, you identify the common activity and put them there on a separate platform. The other activities are special activities. This is what exactly we did for our retail banking testing. For example, getting the account holder's name, their age, their date of birth, etc., are common to everywhere. So after some time, previously we used to have ledgers and we opened the account. Now everything is being done by the computers. For doing it in the computers, you need to have a logical thinking and putting that into the common, and which things which are not common, you get it as a separate parameter, what they call as parameterization. Okay, common parameters and special parameters. Your name, your date of birth, your location, everything comes under common parameters. Supposing you are going to open a deposit, what is going to be the deposit amount? That is a special parameter for deposit. Or if you are going to take a loan from the bank, how many years you want, the period of loan, what is the rate of interest? So these are special parameters for loan department. You get my point. So you have one common set of parameters, you have special set of parameters which are going to be customizable. This is where your mathematics or your logical thinking or your statistics is going to help you. Now, it is very difficult to separate banking from automation, which in turn has a lot of dependency on mathematics, statistics, and data analysis. Am I answering Aditya? Am I answering you, Rahul? Hello.
Yes, sir, you're answering his question.
So everywhere it's mathematics is required. You may not be directly employing your formula that you have been learning or theorems or anything that you are learning there, but the mind that has been tuned to look into that certain way is going to be applied towards the banking products. This is what I see.
So we have one more question from Samarth.
Yes, please.
Does banking really have a nice future? Blockchain technology, the new internet, is stepping over.
Yes. Sorry.
So we have a question from Samarth. Does banking really have a nice future? Blockchain technology, the new internet, is stepping over.
The new internet cannot step over anything. It can only aid what is already happening there. The blockchain technology is still under the nascent stage now. Okay, so it cannot be taking over anything there. What has been proved nowadays is that the advent of any technology that is coming over is going to aid and make the existing edifice stronger. Definitely, in my considered opinion, I'm not sure about it. In my opinion, no technology can take over any particular domain's operations or something there. Everywhere, the basis is going to be the same. Over and above, over and over above, what you are going to dish out. Okay, it's like you make various items. Okay, and then you make the final puddings there, final dressing up, and then call it different. This is where it's going to make the matters things there. But there are a couple of things which the blockchain could also help in that. As I said, one is a security part of it, wherein external things like blockchain can do and work into that. And also about the speed, about the reliability, all the see these aids are going to come to strengthen the existing edifice. And I don't think anything can take over the entire banking technology or for matter even whatever it is as a transportation. This is my opinion.
Thank you, sir. We have a new question from Shivam.
Yes,
What are the skills required to have as a fresher to enter the software testing domain?
actually, I would say just a basic, a graduate degree, and a very good attitude. Nothing else. Believe me, nothing else. We were hunting in the colleges. Everywhere we go there. At times we have done interviews through the day and we could not even get one single candidate. The problem is attitude. Let me elaborate on that. See, I don't expect you to become a tester tomorrow when I recruit. When I recruit, I see how well you are able to do in your academics to an extent. Say, let us say it is about 40%. Then I will see what is your attitude to learning. That is exactly what I was about to show you, but unfortunately we didn't have time there. Okay. And what is that we are going to learn? That is your how ready are you to learn? That is what is most important. Because say I will train you basically on web technology. But tomorrow the client may ask, I want somebody in mainframes. No, no organization will say I don't have a resource. What they will say is that I will prepare a resource and give it to you. What we will do is that we will pull out these guys from web technology, give them a crash course on the technology that is required, and then put them on the job. I'll tell you, you won't believe me. We have done this any number of times, and not in one or two, in 50, 100 resources like that. We just recruit people, then train them intensively for a couple of weeks, then internally we assess them and then expose them. But that's what I said. The advantage with testing is that you all you need is only the basic qualification, then an aptitude to learn. I have had people who could not talk. The first point you can see on the screen is communication skill. Who could not talk. Such people were, but when I interviewed, I found them to be very good in the technology, academics, everything. But the communication was lacking. I still recruited them and put them in my own team because I just want somebody for in my team. But I will shield them from going to the customers because for facing customer you need communication skill. Like that we pick and choose. But better you have all these things means then nothing is there going to be an impediment. And once you step into that, first 2 years is going to be a very, very good learning experience for you. After that, you will start deriving the pleasures. I started my team with a 0%. Myself, I was the only person. I told you the treat team was there. I started the team. I had only one helping hand with me. We interviewed and we grew the team to 40 plus. The team was there for 2 years. The team was in existence for 2 years. Every one of the team member is now holding very good positions as a test manager or test director. You can see in my LinkedIn profile how many people are connected to me and how many people were there in my team. For being a tester, all you need is basic skills and a very good aptitude. If you are willing to slog, you can go places.
So we have another question of Athar.
Yeah.
I am currently pursuing PSMS degree in mathematics and I am interested in computation as well. What are the career options involving these two? Being a pure mathematics student, what are the technical computational skills that I should focus on improving? If I want to explore the opportunities in industry, will getting a PhD be more helpful or should I focus on getting shorter courses like MTech? So please answer.
Okay. On acquiring skills. Acquiring skills is a very good attitude. It's a right question. Now, the mere graduate or postgraduate is not going to help anywhere. See, I'll tell you the basic thing is if I'm going to look for some people with some certain qualification, I have now about 100 people there. I have only about 10 vacancies. How am I going to choose? Everyone is an MSc, okay, masters. So I will be looking for key differentiators. What other extra additional skills say a certain person has, then I will pick them up. And basically, before stepping into that, I would expect a person, supposing I'm taking a one person from my team or any organization, certain basic things like one is communication, the other one is the presentation skills, because what you are doing, unless you are able to convey to the other stakeholder, be it your boss, your manager, or a client, if you are not able to do it, whatever you do is not going to be of any use. So the presentation skills are very, very important. And as far as the IT industry is concerned, if you are going to have the basic knowledge of the databases, the spreadsheets, and the documentation, it plays a very vital role. You won't believe it. Sometimes there I moved over from banking to IT. You must remember, in banking at those point of time there is nothing, no IT, nothing there. So on the go, I picked up all these skills there. What are the skills there? I just wanted to have all the languages, all the MS Office products, whichever thing I wanted, I picked up. At some point of time, these are helpful to me. These were, and one time my vice president called me and said, "Kapali, you know how to create a pivot table." And when I created, he was wondering, how do you know all these things? I said, I learned. But he's a vice president. He doesn't know. Not that he is a muff or something. It's not necessary for him, but he wanted to dirty his hands and find out how to create it. So these are additional skills. To answer you, what I will suggest is that a basic knowledge of mathematics along with some statistical analytical skills are very essential. I don't want to compare a PhD with others. We'll come to PhD later on. It depends on what sort of job you are looking at. What are the what are the jobs you are looking at? And at times, a post graduation or a PhD could be construed as a overqualification also. So that we have to be very very careful about it because they will start wondering, he's a PhD, whether he'll be able to come down to this level and then do the work. You may be having the right attitude. You may say that yes, I will come down, I will sit to the last person, learn the basics, dirty my hands, and then come up the ladder. But while recruiting, they will have this issue there. So basically, you have some analytical skills, logical reasoning, and these are the products that are there. And now there are umpteen number of basic courses. If you could see the data analysis and everything there, I have quoted the websites also. Those websites provide you with basic skills. In fact, one of my relatives, who is also a data analyst, who gave me he gave me all these references, saying that he has acquired more than 12 certifications going through these, and these certifications are helping him in his career right now. He works for the IT major. He says that if we go and put in my assessment, say appraisal, every year they have an appraisal. I have acquired this, I have acquired this. Two things are ticking for them. One is the person who is appraising thinks that okay, this person has an attitude, has a hunger for knowledge, and he wants to grow, and he is also enhancing his skills. These are the qualities I'm looking at. This is what I want. So that is one. If you want to go in the academia, then PhD could be a better choice. But for the for the fields that we are discussing, I am not sure whether it is going to help you that much. Because if you are, I know PhD, you are at the highest level of concentration on the subject, and one may be frustrated by not applying those whatever he has acquired into the industry. If I earn a PhD and then come into a computer department and then do a testing, or go into a bank and then start granting a loan, If there is a likelihood, I don't say it will happen. There is a likelihood that at some point of time, the person may get frustrated and say that, what is the point? There is going to be a huge gap between what I know and what I'm delivering. So that could lead to frustration. One need to be careful about it. Did I answer you?
Yes, sir, the question has been answered. So, anyone else want to ask something? Okay, so we'll wrap up. The information of the speaker has been shared in the chat box. You can contact him anytime. So, sir, on behalf of all the students of ISA Bhopal, we are very thankful to you for being present with us today in this talk. Your time and efforts are really appreciable. Thanks to all the participants for joining the event and making it successful. Hope you all had an informative session. Don't forget to share your invaluable feedback with us using the attached form.
Thank you very much. I would like to really appreciate the efforts taken by Shraddha Agarwal and Smriti in arranging this, and I'm very happy in interacting with them. I hope I could provide some valuable inputs to you. And in case of any further clarifications, you are free to connect to me through my email, which has already been shared. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all the help.
Thanks a lot, sir.
I would appreciate if you could share the feedback also.
Yes, sir, sure. Please fill the feedback form.
Shraddha, can I log off?
Yes, sir, sure, you can
Thank you very
leave
much.
the meeting.
Have a good day.
Same to you, sir.